Shut up and sit down.
By all means, go for it. Have fun. Just leave me alone.
People are coming together more and more as the government has been failing us more and more.
I'm against being shitty to people.
You can't research your way into understanding somebody.
One way or another, I'd rather have the fight now.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Fight for Liberty Live. Tonight, we've got a good show for you guys. It's a solo show. We're rolling without a guest tonight, kind of rounding out the rebrand that we've been going through over the last about 2.5 weeks. I'm super excited. This show, like every other show, is brought to you by the wonderful people over at Nug of Knowledge. If you haven't heard me rant about Nug of Knowledge yet, I'll do it again. They are a great source for CBD, CBG, and Delta-8 THC products. It is completely legal in all 50 states. The Delta-8 THC pens that you get, they're going to be purer than what you get in a dispensary in a legal state. And again, legal in all 50 states. You can order it online, get it shipped right to your house. It's great. Go to nugofknowledge.com and check out all the fun stuff that we have there. There's also like CBD honey, and we're going to be adding a bunch more products here in about 2 weeks. So again, go on over to nugofknowledge.com. Use the promo code UNITE so that you can help support me and the other guys at FSM, and we would really appreciate that. Again, tonight's show is going to be kind of a little bit about the rebrand and what we're working on here at Fight for Liberty over the next couple of months or for the foreseeable future. And so we're gonna get into all of that as soon as we're done with this fun little video.
There's war going on in this world. A war on freedom.
He's acting outside of his authority by saying you can't put something that you want in your own body. That's your own personal choice, and can't nobody take that from you, you know?
You're one of these taxpayers, and these are all your documents, and this is how we're going to rob you. It's fucked up, man. It's more war, it's more spending, it's more debt, and it's less freedom.
We don't do that here.
Some people think that you can't be radical and pragmatic.
This is what we need, is a pragmatic radicalism, not moderation. Hardcore radicalism, but smart shit.
It's not sitting in a fucking basement with a bunch of fucking nerds.
You don't know shit, and that's the thing. You have to talk to people who think differently than you.
Like, his focus is not how horrible the government is, it's how wonderful liberty and freedom are.
That's what drives us.
People are coming together more as the government has been failing us.
We're just getting started.
So that's what we're trying to be about here, guys. This is about a pragmatic radicalism that is not just ranting online. It's not about who's more popular in our inner circles. This is about what we're actually doing to tangibly fight and make real freedom more tangible in our lifetimes. So the Fight for Liberty, the show, the interviews, we're going to be focused exclusively on people who are out there in the real world doing the fighting, because there are so many people out there that just aren't getting the platform that they deserve because they're fighting the good fight. And we know how much the media and most people out here that are platforming people, they don't want to talk about us. They don't want to give us a platform. So that's our job as Fight for Liberty. We're going to be working on not only just on the show, but through our social media, through everything else that we're doing. And I'll get into more of how we're going to be doing this in a little bit. It is about supporting, platforming, and assisting the people who are out here actually doing the fight. So that means that I'm gonna continue to be out here at different events. We're going to Michigan this weekend. Hopefully we're going to be in Mississippi in about 2 weeks for an event that the Cajun Libertarian is putting on. And so if you guys want to help support, get gas money and expenses and help me continue to be able to do that with some more of my team, please go to there's a GoFundMe specifically for helping with travel expenses to Michigan, but also you can go to our Linktree and support that way. And really, really, really appreciate that, because I want to be out here being able to keep interacting with the people that I've been able to meet over the last couple of years and help be able to share with you guys what they're doing, how they're doing it, and how you guys can do it also. So not only is a big focus of what we're doing going to be about platforming and bringing these people on, but it's also about trying to glean that information from them and give it to you guys, because there are people in this movement who know what the hell they're doing, who are doing it really, really well, and who have been doing it for years, and they have been bogged down by dozens and dozens of campaigns and organizations and everything. They're stretched so thin. What we need is to be able to duplicate these people and replicate them over and over and over and over again. And I want this show to be a place where there is a good conversation, that you guys can get to know these people and what they're doing and how they're doing it, and then take the information that you learn from the show and go continue to fight for liberty the rest of the week, and go actually use this in your everyday lives. So that's what we're trying to do here. Again, if you want to help out, please donate. We love that. And another way that you can help support and get something as a product, and another way that we're actually out here tangibly fighting for liberty, is, again, I'll go back to it, Nug of Knowledge. They are not only part of this liberty movement, and every dollar that you spend on this website stays within the movement. They are also taking the proceeds from what you're spending and using it to help fight the war on drugs. So we're talking about the Free Thought Project and Normal and a couple of other nonprofits that are out here tangibly making people freer on a daily basis. And so that's Nug of Knowledge. Again, it's a great product that I talked about in the beginning. But on top of that, it is a way to help support libertarians like myself, like the guys at FSM. Spike is also an affiliate, and Dan Berman is kind of the figurehead behind this. This is a way to help support us and keep us doing what we're doing, but also get a great product out of it and give to other organizations who are fighting the good fight. So again, nugofknowledge.com. And if you want to help out with Nug of Knowledge, not just spend money, send me a DM. There are a lot of things that we could use your help on over at Nug of Knowledge. So shoot me a DM if you want to help with marketing or social media or something like that. Always looking for more people. And that's, I think, the issue with the movement. There are a lot of people that I talk to that say, I wish I knew what to do and how to help out, but all I know how to do, or all I've seen, is people arguing online. And I can't. And I've been trying to solve this problem since I joined the party. And I'll admit, I haven't been doing so great at it, but we're getting there. We're getting there. So not only is Fight for Liberty trying to help duplicate these activists through what we're putting out on social media and the website and the show, there's also multiple other things that we're working and partnering with other organizations and other groups of people to help plug people in more tangibly. So if you are in the Liberty movement and you are wondering what you can do to get involved or how you can get involved, there is now an activist database that you can join. If you go to Campaigns for Liberty, still the number 4, like everything else, .com/join. You can fill out a form there and be added to an activist database so that we know what you're good at, what you like to do, what your availability is, where you are, what your passions are, and help get you plugged in right here, right now. If you want to be more involved in this movement, if you want to spend less time aimlessly keyboard warrioring or watching podcasts, then please go to campaignsforliberty.com/join, fill that out, and get plugged in. And I'm not shitting on people who spend all day on the computer, because we need that. We need social media people, we need marketing people, we need data analytics people, we need webmasters, we need platform managers, we need a lot. So there is no exclusionary. I'm not talking about just going out and canvassing or door knocking. This isn't the regular recruitment pitch that you have heard from the party for a while, because we have been way too focused on 90s style campaigning and politics. And there are a lot of people who need a lot of help in this movement. And we need you guys. If you want to spend all day on Twitter, hit me up. I have some work for you to do, because there are a lot of people who need Twitter platform managers, and you can help me out. So go fill that out. Say that you want to be a Twitter platform manager, and I would love to get you involved, because we really, really, really could use some people doing that. On top of that, also on the same website, Campaigns for Liberty, there's another tab that's /run. If you are trying to run for office, even not as a libertarian, if you're an independent or green, or even whatever you want to do, if you are trying to run for office with a liberty mindset and make liberty more tangible for your constituents, go to campaignsforliberty.com/run. There's a bunch of questions there. If you don't know the answers to those questions, you'll probably figure them out before you run for office, and we will try to get you the support that you need to run a successful campaign, because there has been, again, a lot of groundwork laid by some really successful people, and they can really help. They can solve a lot of your problems, save you a lot of time by answering questions that you are asking the void. And there's people out here that have the answers. So if you are trying to run for office, campaignsforliberty.com/run. If you want to help, it's /join. Get involved, because the fight is fucking real, guys. That's what I want to talk about next, actually, is this is not about clout. It's not about popularity. It's not about political victory. This is about tangible freedom, because it is trending in the very wrong direction right now. Very much in the wrong direction. And we need to put a stop to that. Right now, we have the Biden administration, quote, urging Americans to turn in radicalized friends and family members. This is the America that we're living in right now. This is not about clout. Again, this is about making sure that our freedoms aren't getting stripped from us on the daily. Again, and this isn't just like some random news site. This is real. This is what's actually happening in our country. And not only is Biden talking about this, we have official documentation from our federal government describing what domestic terrorists look like. And I'm on this list, guys. So are you. Most of you. See here. Anarchist, violent extremists. Anyone that opposes all forms of capitalism, corporate globalization, and governing institutions, which are perceived as harmful to society. They are. All of those things are harmful to society, guys. That's just a fact that we know to be true. But if you know this fact, you're now a domestic terrorist. So that's that one. Let's look at this one. Anyone who believes they are immune from government authority and laws. If you disagree with the magical sky cloth, if you don't do the magical words written in the magical books that mean fucking nothing, right? We know this. We know how our laws work. If you actually know how rights work, how the Constitution was written, you're a domestic terrorist. That is what the federal government is talking about right now. Again, this isn't joke. This is real. This is tangible. This is real life. And if that wasn't enough, they went and just lumped everyone else in there too. Anyone with ideological agendas that are not otherwise defined under one of the other domestic terrorist threat categories, including a combination of personal grievances and beliefs with potential bias, gender, or sexual orientation. So if your religion makes you think, maybe we shouldn't bow down to the golden calf or the idol of the king because my Bible says not to, you're a domestic terrorist. You don't even have to hate the government. You can just love God more than the government. This is what's going on, guys. This is the real world. This is what we're fighting. It's not about fighting for ourselves or for any kind of selfish reasons. We are fighting a tangible fight right now. We are watching our freedoms get stripped on the daily. We just lived through a year and a half of the most egregious government overreach that this country has seen in a long time. And most people just sat back and let it happen. This idea that like Americans value freedom and that if the government was going to do something, we'd fight back. And like that's why we have the Second Amendment. We as libertarians have been saying that kind of stuff for a while. And we were proven wrong, right? Like this, it didn't happen. No one fought back. People barely even rallied against it. And then we cheered on the people that locked us up as soon as they unlocked us and tried to pretend like they were some great prominent member of the liberty movement because, oh, he only locked us up for a year instead of a year and 3 months like everyone else did. He's so great. That's how fucked in the head most of America is. We need to start moving against that. The fight has been one-sided for far too long, and it is time that we join together and fight back. Like this is not just about us versus them, the elites and the people in power. I'm gonna go back up to this one. This is about friends and family now. This is about your communities. This is about, can I trust the person who lives next door to me? Or are they going to turn me into the federal government because I have a Gadsden flag on my window? We're closely approaching that point where most of the dystopian films start. You know, if you watch things like Red Dawn or 2012, or there's a whole bunch of like apocalyptic-ish movies that start out with like news clips from like how it went to shit. We're creating those news clips now, guys. That's the stage that we're in right now. We're creating those news clips so that in a year is when the plot line actually starts. It is a slow progression into tyranny. It always is. Every time that it happens. Well, no, that's not quite true. That's a lie. Sorry. I will retract that. It's not always a slow progression. Sometimes it's a violent revolution of tyranny. But a lot of times it's a slow thing. When you have an empire that's overreaching like this, it is a slow, methodical breakdown of trust, of actual representation, and eventually get to a point where there are people in charge pulling the strings, but they're pulling the strings on a lot of people. They've brainwashed generations at this point. Anyone that went to public school in the last 3 generations has a completely inaccurate worldview of history unless they went out and re-educated themselves after they graduated to figure out what actually happened. There are so many black spots in what we learn to paint the government as some like heroic group of people that have saved us from all of these problems. They haven't. But we're brainwashed to think that. I was homeschooled and I was still brainwashed to think that. So none of us are really safe. But this is what's been happening for years and years and years, and it's only getting worse. it's only becoming more apparent that they've got a real stranglehold on society. And if we want to have any sort of hope for a free society in the future, we need to start fighting back. And we need to start fighting back now. And we need to start fighting back on all fronts. We need to use every tactic that they use against us to our advantage. I'm talking about celebrities. I'm talking about nonprofits, charity work, political campaigns, rallies, activism. I don't care. Do it all. Do whatever you're good at to make freedom more tangible in our lifetimes. Because if we just play it safe, if we just try to maintain, we lose. And I don't give the Republican Party much credit at all, really ever, but they're a good example of this. They tried to just maintain. They tried to say, all right, we're just trying to stay right where we are in the 1970s, 1980s, and we're just going to stick here. We're just going to pretend Ronald Reagan is still the president. And what happened is they lost. They lost everything. They've just systemically lost the culture war, and they are falling off into oblivion. The conservative mindset is almost dead in American culture right now, in the mainstream, because they did not do shit. They just sat back and said, okay, we're just gonna try to. If they wanted it to stay the same, they needed to have put up the equal amount of fight as the left did, and they didn't, and that's why the left is winning. Now, I don't give a shit about the culture war, right? They can fight it out up there. Fuck that. I care about the Liberty War. But we're in a similar spot. We have been organizing as a party for 50 years, and we have not been fighting. Not the way that they have been. They have been dirty and underhanded, and they have just systematically taken apart our freedoms. And we got gay marriage. We got this legal in a couple of states so far. We've got some victories here and there. But while that happened, the debt tripled. The amount of wars we're in tripled. The amount of people that we're murdering tripled. Like, we're not winning the culture war of freedom. We're losing, and we're losing really bad. And it's because we're not fighting. So we need to stop arguing about how to fight and just fight. So on this show, you're going to see a variety of people doing all sorts of different things. I'm going to have people that are running for office. I'm going to have people that think that voting is violence. I don't care how your personal ideologies work. If you are training people to be more self-sufficient, if you are nullifying bad laws, if you are making localization real, either through business or economics or politics or whatever you're doing, you're an ally to me. Because I don't have time to vet people. I don't have time to be worried about whether or not I like you as a person, because there are a lot more people fighting against us than are fighting for us. And we can't afford to fractionalize. And I'm not talking about the LP here, for the record. Like, this is a bigger conversation than the LP. I'm talking about all the movements and all the groups, and the fact that we're fractionalized off into the LP, right? Like there are hundreds of thousands of people out there that consider themselves anti-war activists, and yet we can never coalesce into 100,000 person march on Washington. We're working on it. September 11th. If you guys aren't going to be there, or if you guys don't already know, be there. Mark your calendars. DC, September 11th. But that might be the first one where we actually do some real shit like that. Like, this shouldn't be such a new concept, but it is, and we're getting there, and we're fighting, and we're going to continue this fight. And if you want to try to criticize how we're doing it, drown us out. Do something else and do a better job. Show us that we're wrong. Show us that your way of fighting for liberty makes liberty more tangible for people on a daily basis than what we're doing. And fuck it, I'll do whatever works, because again, this isn't about clout. This isn't about a podcast. This isn't about a website or a social media account. This is about trying to save the world. This is about trying to be a part of the movement that stops our country from falling apart. This is about trying to help people live their lives and not get harassed and murdered by a government that shouldn't even exist. That's what this is about. So I'm excited to keep doing this because it's been a great year and a half. I love you guys. This is the most fun thing that I could be doing. But what I really need is for y'all to keep me on track, because there are a lot of episodes in the last few months that are about bullshit, about things that didn't matter. And I played into a lot of the crap and the infighting and the everything, and even though my message was anti-infighting, it was about the infighting, and that stuff doesn't matter. It's on a real level. It just doesn't, right? So I need you guys to keep me honest. And if I'm sliding back into that and taking my eyes off the prize, let me know. Fucking troll me in the comments. Go for it, because it's easy to get caught up in it. It's really easy. It's easier to fight each other or to complain about each other than it is to fight the state. It's a lot easier to fight each other. And we get a reaction out of each other, right? We actually, it's it's a real fight. Like, we get to argue with each other on Twitter and shit. Like, I can go at some leftist anti-war activist and talk shit and probably get an actual response if they're close to where I am on the Twitter sphere hierarchy. And I'll get a response and actually get a dialogue, be able to start this argument with this person. If I tweet at Biden, I'm not going to get that. So it's more fun, right? It's easier. It's more fun. It's more rewarding. It gives us that dopamine fix of getting a response and a comment and likes and people caring about it and people siding with you and backing you up. And it's really easy to fall back into that. So it's a vigilant fight that we need to be maintaining within ourselves. And I've fallen short, and I know a lot of other people have, and that's cool. We do that. We'll get better. And the other thing is that if we have a strong movement that's focused on the important things, when some of us get caught up in it, it's not the end of the world, right? We're not going to tank the entire movement because one or two people decided to get a little bit distracted. There's a whole group of people still doing it. We can't be a movement that's reliant on a handful of people. We watched a lot of people leave this week, and it's going to take some rebuilding. But we can't pretend that everything rested on them, because if it did, we weren't doing our jobs right. We weren't putting in the work. If we can pretend that like a dozen people can tank the entire party, then what were we doing, guys? What was this party that we were? Was this even a party worth fighting for? We got to stick it out. We got to keep going. We got to keep building. We got to keep bringing people in, and we have to be fighting, not each other, but the state, constantly, every day. We need to be sponsoring legislation. We need to be making phone calls. We need to be making memes, for fuck's sake. Like, memes are important now in politics. If you want like a job targetedly making memes for candidates and for other people in the liberty movement, so that you can channel your awesome meme making skills into a targeted like media campaign to help candidates win, hit me up. Fill out that campaigns for liberty /join form. Like, that's also something we need. We need all the stuff. However you are fighting for liberty, let me know. Let me help you get plugged in and have it more directed. And if you are already doing too many things and you need help, also let me know. Because that's the whole point. We need to finally bridge all of these gaps, because we have a lot of people that need help and a lot of people that want to help, and then a fuck ton of people that don't even know what we're talking about. And all of those groups need to start working together and joining in each other. And that's the only way we win. We can't win as 3% of the country. We can win when we grow, when we show people what liberty looks like, and prove to them that we're actually out here fighting a good fight. I normally smoke so much on the show because I'm listening to the other person talking, and my ADHD like makes me have to do things with my hands. But on a solo show, it's weird. I have to just pause. I hate dead air. It sounds weird. But I appreciate you guys coming and watching today. I wasn't really sure what was going to happen when I started the show, or restarted the show back in March of 2020. I wanted to help educate people on what was really going on. I wanted to show people legislation that was being written and that was either good or bad, and why it was good or bad. I wanted to highlight people that were fighting the good fight, especially people outside of the liberty movement. So there were a bunch of segments on just, activists or nonprofit organizers. And then we had the interviews, and I was just kind of having fun. I just wanted to help teach people a little bit of what I know. But now I realize where my place is in the movement, or at least one of the things that I can do, and one of the things that I can do well. And I'm pumped to really just hyper focus on that with this show, and really work to, again, help platform and promote the people who are out here doing the work, making tangible change, and then asking them the questions that you guys might want to ask them as to how you could do it, because that's the whole thing. We all need to be together in on this. And last but not least, if you want to get involved and in a slightly less tangible way, because I'm not going to try to put myself on the same pedestals as the guests that I have on and the other organizations that I'm working with. But if you want to help the fight for liberty, and you want to help us write or promote on social media, if you want to help me with some graphic design or some web design, because God, I suck at that stuff. I'm literally David with the bad fonts in my girl's phone, and so I need some help, guys. Please help. If you're passionate about graphic design or video editing or web design, and you want to help make this show a little bit more professional, so that when we're platforming and promoting these great fighters, they get the quality of platform that they deserve, please hit me up. You can follow and message either me or Fight for Liberty on Twitter. It's one of the best ways to get a hold of me. And I would really love a little bit of assistance on that. But again, there are so many things that the Liberty movement needs. And there are so many great people out here doing real work. It's going to be great, guys. I want to highlight one win before we go. One tangible win that I got to thank Spike for bringing to my attention because I might not have known about it otherwise. But we have 2 elected libertarian city council people who were able to institute the first real full existence of participatory budgeting in America. We now have a city where constituents can actually vote as to where their tax dollars go. It's a libertarian wet dream. I mean, it's no taxes would be great, but if we've got to be taxed, we have to at least have a say in where it goes. And now they do. And that's because we got libertarians elected to office and they were able to do their job and promote liberty and make real freedom tangible. We can do more of that over the next coming years. There are a fuck ton of elections next year that we can all win. There's a fuck ton of elections this year that we can win. So again, if you want to run for office, Campaigns for Liberty/run. If you want to work on anything, there's a spot in this form for whether or not you want to work on a campaign or a PAC or an organization or just a party affiliate, like however you want to get involved in the many different tentacles of the movement. Campaigns for Liberty/join. Fill that out. We need to come together and share resources, share our energies, share what we're working on so that we're not reinventing the wheel 100 times a year and wasting most of our time and energy on Googling how to run for office. There are people with knowledge. There are people that need it. Let's bridge those gaps. I'm happy to do my part. And I love you guys. And I appreciate all of the support that you guys have shown me. Again, if you do want to help support the channel, the 2 best ways to do that are A, Nug of Knowledge, so that you actually get something a little bit more tangible in return. You can get high with me on tomorrow's episode. And then if you really want to just donate directly, go to our link tree. It's in the description of this video on all of the platforms. There's a direct donate link there, or there's a link to the GoFundMe if you want to help specifically with the gas and travel expenses to Michigan. I love you guys. Thanks for watching. Until next time, keep up the fight.
Hey fighters, thanks for watching. Don't forget to follow, subscribe, and support the fight by going to linktree/Fite for Liberty.